Hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got a showcase of my rank 2 Joe Fixit. Now, the reason I did this, one, because Joe is one of my favourite characters. Since his buff, I've just really enjoyed him. And in the meta, not this season that's currently active, at the time of uploading this, the last season, for both metas he was really strong. And for this, I'm mainly doing this for entertainment purposes. I know some people will comment thinking, oh well, he's not going to be nearly as good without all the Fury boost. No, he's still very strong, and he's a very good defender as well. So he's got just more than defensive value, more than attack value. He's very good all around. And this fight shows that he can definitely take difficult fights, even without the Fury boost from the tactic. Now, I get pretty bad rolls here, and this is still going to be a minute for a rank 5 Doom, who is still seen as very tanky, which I'd say is pretty good. Now, a rundown on how to play this guy. I'll say it now, Nick136 has a very, very good video on how to properly use this guy, and I'll leave that in the description, because I think it's definitely way better explained than I could ever do it, to say the least. But how I play him is I usually go for just medium into backdraft, just so that I can build up as many spades as possible, because the spades give a big damage boost on all hits. I say damage boost, it grants an attack boost per hit, and I think per spade as well. The hearts, they have a percentage of lifesteal based on how many you have. The diamonds have block penetration, and the clubs have extra power gain per hit, or extra combat power rate. And the bleeds on his special one are based on how many debuffs, or how many external debuffs you put on him. And you put those on by having however many cards. So if you have 4 cards of the same type, then you put a Petrify on. If you have 3 of the same type, then you put a Weakness on. And if you have 2 of the same type, then you put a Disorient on. The bleeds on the special one are based more off of how many of each of those you have. And yeah, they do help, they do add up, especially like the Petrify and the weaknesses. The Petrify is the main reason why he's been so strong in these couple of metas, because 1, he can reverse the regen, and 2, he's just hitting like a tank, like 20k medium crit. Yes, that is with the Furies, but still, it's pretty good. 38 seconds for a rank 3 Chavez, not too bad. Yeah, the main reason I did this meta in particular was just because it shows him at his absolute peak, and I'm doing that purely for the purposes of entertainment. And yeah, you'll see in this video that I am pretty bad at playing Joe, but I play him the way I enjoy him, because I prefer playing this way. It's very AI dependent, I know, but for me it's the most fun, which is why I do it. It's high risk, high reward in my eyes, which I quite like in champs. But it does explain why I'm extremely mid. Yeah, just, if you're able to pull it off, it's so good. It's so useful to help nuke champs down. Now, this is the biggest health pool currently in the game, a rank 3 Sasquatch. Now, sometimes I like to go for a parry first, get 3 medium intercepts off, and then a full combo to make the most of the extra combat power rate, and then go for my 4 spades. And what I like to do as well sometimes is delay my combo a little bit, because if you do medium, delay, hold blocker for a split second and then medium again, then it'll count as giving you 2 cards and finishing 2 combos instead of just 1, which is a faster way to ramp him for So say if you want to throw multiple special ones, like fairly close together, stack a couple of petrifies, it's an easy way to build up 4 of the same card type. And 7s, that's what you get from a Sig ability, it's a mix of all of them, so you deal more damage per hit, which gives you more lifesteal, and you get more power from that, and you can also hit pretty hard through the block. So if you roll 7s, then it's GG's, and you'll see here, this is a perfect scenario for a Joe fight. So go for the parry heavy, go for these mediums. It is a little bit janky because Werewolf's AI is ridiculous, but go for the special 1 knockdown there, throws a special 2 while I have 4 of my 7s. While I've still got them all up, go for a relic, keep going for combos, and while I've still got 7s, that will give me a bit more of a burst of power, and yeah, it's done. Now, Joe's Sig, when you have a certain amount of cards, it'll give you a bonus when you throw a special. So for each spade, you'll get a bit of crit rate. For each heart, you'll get debuff duration. For each club, you'll get a burst of power. And I'll be honest, I can't remember what the diamond does. Again, that's explained in Nick's video. It's much better to go and watch his than mine on this because it breaks it all down very well and explains it a lot better than I have just there. But yeah, the thing I like about him is that he just does so much raw damage that he can take nearly anything. Like, you don't have to go for just the bleeds on the special 1. You can go for the special 2. If you build up 4 spades when going for that, then you can get a massive crit. And it scales very well. It does scale very well. And in matchups where I have to, I like going for it. Great start there, throwing heavies into midair. It wouldn't be a video from me if there wasn't just some random heavy thrown in midair. But yeah, anyway, I do play this a little bit wrong. I think I have another one of these a little bit later on in the video. The main reason I've gotten both is because I don't think this is the ideal fight. I think because I didn't have a special and I couldn't get him down fast enough, but 46 seconds for a rank 5 Kindred, still not too bad. And that's definitely doable even without the tactic. So, yeah, I'd say that's not bad. But yeah, this showcase is mainly just him nuking things, being quick. Yes, I know it's whole gameplay, but still, I've been busy, I've not been able to get too much. And this is an example of when I say risk first reward. If they do something like that, or if they back up constantly, it can be a little bit difficult to ramp, but it's not detrimental. Like, you can still potentially get hearts if you want and heal back up. Depends what you care about more. Whether you care about damage or how much health you finish with. Now, me personally, I still go for damage any day, even with the time change, but getting hearts every now and again and healing some of that chip damage back is always a good strategy to have. Something good to go for. And yeah. So with this I mainly chose this meta over the Victory Track one because I like to stack Petrifies with Joe, and in this meta that's shown now, the opponent gets a lot of healing and a lot of power gain, and Petrify is just such a good piece of utility to have to shut off both of those. It's quite nice. Like, you could see for a second there, if you go back and pause for a split second, when he had 2 stacked up, he was reversing the power gain, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, this fight took me ages to get, and this is literally just a showcase of what happens when you get intercepted. See, here I'm going for the hearts just to get a little bit of extra regen. And I've got the Hulk relic on, so every single time I heal, I'm getting a bit of that regen back. And also putting a physical vulnerability on, so I'm just dealing more damage. But yeah, this is just a showcase of how powerful the Special 2 can be. Because, yeah, the Special 2, if you've got 4 spades, 30k, 34k, it didn't crit, but if that had crit, it'd have been very powerful. But yeah, he can be used either way. My Joe at the time of this video was SIG 20, but he's currently SIG 60. With the SIG, it's just more chance to crit on that Special 2, which is always nice. Now, Absorbing Man, I mainly picked this just to kind of play both ways, around immunity and around the extra damage and the petrifies, showing how good they are. Go for a heavy there, knock him out his form. And while I have 4 clubs, you see I gained a burst of power there. That was, again, part of the SIG. If he was high SIG, I would have gained a lot more power. But, yeah, it is what it is. Still a 49-second fight for a rank 5 Ascended Absorbing Man. Now, this fight isn't pretty because at the time of recording this video, Kushala had just been released. And of course, Hot Fuzz is lucky enough to pull her straight away pretty much. Which I can't say I'm shocked about. But yeah, this isn't too pretty because I'm still getting used to her animations at this point. So just get whacked there. But even in matchups where she's bleed immune, it's still showing how powerful Joe can be. And yeah, just have to pot block that Special 2. I'm hoping that this actually shows a crit on the second half. Of course it doesn't. Again, my luck with champs is that whenever a big crit on the Special 2 is needed or will be very satisfying, it never happens. Don't know if that's the same with anyone else, but for me especially, mine will never happen. Especially if I ask it to. If I'm polite and ask, please crit, it won't crit. But yeah, I put this one in as well to show that he's a very strong Rintrah counter. Just because he doesn't tend to hit the opponent that much. And I didn't play it this way, this matchup, because I cared more about the power gain and the regen. But if you were to get 2 disorients up off your special ones or whatever, then Rintrah just wouldn't gain his mystical charges. It's a little bit of a damage sacrifice to have a safe fight, but I quite like it. I quite like that it's an option, and also Disorient is an ability that not many champs have, and not many champs have easy access to. So I do quite like that. And yeah, pretty much most of these fights are just me throwing special ones, waiting for them to bait specials, because they won't throw them for some reason. Well, and yeah, just waiting for all this. It was a very slow and steady meta, but it was one where you could take advantage of really easily if you had the right options. And I was just waiting there to play around the auto block. Overseer was really annoying on defense because there was no way other than Petrify to get around his power gain. And it's the same here. Waiting just to throw another medium, and it was slow, but it was safe. Now, I mainly added Iron Man in here just to show the value of the bleed, because Iron Man's now known for being extremely tanky and base hits not being able to do too much to him. And yeah, you can just nuke him, and the regen as well. You can nuke him just from the bleeds, and also if you've got a Petrify up, that will reverse the healing with Despair plus the other debuffs as well. So it can block out that really big regen in the last phase, or in the last 15%. As you can see here, he's just ticking down. And that was 43 seconds. Now, I'm hoping, I'll be honest, it's been a minute since I've actually watched this back, but I'm hoping that this fight shows me using the Disorient to my advantage and trying to cancel out Second Life. Not Second Life, it's not Nick Fury. Trying to cancel out the Immortality. And I'm just hoping that I actually do that here, because that does work. If Herc has, I think, 2 Disorients on, then he'll just shut off the Immortality and Herc won't be an issue past that. I don't think I'd do that, you know. I do, but it doesn't work. That can work. And of course I get 7s now. Slow down my combo, and there we go. Ascended Hercules in 58 seconds. Not bad. But yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind with Joe. Anything that can potentially be shut off by ability accuracy reduction that's really annoying, the Disorient does deal with it. Now, this Scorpion, the main reason I added this one in is just to show the bare amount of hits that the special one has. Now, I know I triggered a Scorpion sense here, but the special one, if you are able to use it to your advantage and get the timer down to 0 using it, I think it has 8 hits overall, which is pretty nice. It's a lovely fight from Saragos there. But yeah, if you need anything like fighting Void or fighting Scorpion, trying to get that sense, or that Scorpion sets timer down as fast as possible, Joe and Special 1 spam is a solid way to go about it. The only issue is with Scorpion that you can still trigger a Scorpion sense by knocking him down. So yeah, I'm going for Dragon Man here just because I wanted to mainly show off the Petrify and how strong that can be. So I'm hoping that at least one of these actually crits. There we go, 62k without any Furies. So yeah, Joe can hit hard. Go for another one. Bosh. And you could see for a minute there that the Petrify was actually reversing his healing. Not healing, his power gain. And it's still doing it now. And yeah, that was pretty good. Keeping him from Special 3 just by reversing his power gain constantly. Now, this is a rank 2 Void, and this is what was on about with the Scorpion fight, where the hit count on a Special 1 kind of makes up for situations where you can't actually get above a certain threshold when you need to. So like, I'm a little bit behind on combo now, and right back up to 20. And if I should throw another special one by the time he gets up there. So, medium, medium, another medium, medium, special one. And this will get me up to nearly the next threshold while his time is almost down. And this, again, just crossed 40 as, I wasn't really watching, I crossed 40 as the timer went on to me, and then gained an extra 9 hits. Pretty much perfect. I think we're coming near the end now, but as I say with the last one, if you made it this far, thank you for getting here. If there are any other champs you want to see from me, and want to see me showcase in the next season, probably not this season, which is the Power Shield and Safeguard one, probably the one afterwards. If there's anyone you want to see me showcase, I'll probably do a couple. I know I'm taking a little bit of time off. I'm probably going to upload this after the war vid where I announce my break, but I'm taking some time off. But I will be able to probably still get a couple of showcases out and together, even if they're not massive ones. If there is anyone in particular you'd like to see, then please do let me know in the comments. My main thoughts were Shocker and Black Cat, since they're both rank 3s for me. But yeah, if you do want to see those, let me know. If you want to see anyone else, let me know. I'll consider it for future seasons. And yeah, I'm just going to leave this Kindred fight that you've already seen. This one's a bit tankier because it's ascended, the other one wasn't. But yeah, just going to let this play out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.